Now, of course, you enjoy the sunny skies, and, sometimes it's been raining a little bit too, which we definitely need that rain. But, of course, at the end of a shower, there is usually, at least in, sometimes you can see it, a beautiful rainbow, right? And sometimes we want to know what is over the rainbow, right? So we've got here the UAC Theater's production of The Wizard of Oz. You've been seeing promos for it. They marched in the Pride Parade here in Elgin and also at the 4th of July Parade. And I kept seeing them. I was like, I got to get them on the air to promote the awesomeness that is the summer theater program and The Wizard of Oz. So I have some very special guests here in studio today. Please welcome them from the UAC Theater. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. So we'll start with some introductions here. I'll make sure if you move the mics a little closer, I forgot to tell you about that earlier. Perfect. So we'll start with you and who you're playing in the performance.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sammy Cruz, and I'm playing Dorothy Gale.
Hi, everyone. My name is Juliana, and I am playing the Wicked Witch.
Hi, everyone. My name's Taylor Janisek, and I'm an associate producer with Up and Coming Theater.
Awesome. So you guys are, of course, with the Elgin Summer Theater. That is the UAC Theater and the City of Elgin presenting the Elgin Summer Theater production of The Wizard of Oz. Of course, we know it. It's from L. Frank Baum, music and lyrics by Harold Arlen and E.Y. Harburg as well, too. So it's definitely a classic, right? We, of course, have heard of The Wizard of Oz, and it's been such a classic for so many years, since 1939 for the film. Of course, the books even going further back with that as well, too. So we'll start off here with you. Tell us a little bit about, of course, your character. Of course, many people know the character of Dorothy Gale, but for those who maybe don't know, tell us a little bit about your character.
Well, my character, Dorothy, is experiencing just the most amazing experience, and she's living out her dream of a new land called Oz, accompanied by her dog, Toto, and 3 new friends that she makes along the way, and goes through some challenges. But in this production specifically, I've just explored so much of myself within the character. She's so spunky and witty and has her own kind of bravery and courage, and is really a role model to everyone around her. So I don't know. I just think that our production really showcases that.
That's awesome. And then, of course, we know about your character as well, the Wicked Witch, as well, too. Now, are you just known as the Wicked Witch, or is it, because I know they have a different names like Elphaba and like Wicked. And
Yes. So in our production, and often what you see in various productions of The Wizard of Oz, such as in the original movie as well, some characters that you meet in Oz also double as some folks that Dorothy comes across in Kansas as well. So when we are in Kansas, I am known as one of their neighbors or other town folk, Elmira Gulch. And then when we travel to Oz, Dorothy interprets different people in her life as perhaps some different beings or different characters, and that's when I become the Wicked Witch, based on how Dorothy sees me in her life and what I represent for her in her journey.
Absolutely. And then I know that you said you're the co-producer. Is that correct?
Associate producer.
Producer. So tell us a little bit about your journey in that as well.
Yeah, I think this has been a really exciting experience for me. I joined the UAC team just about a year ago, and this is my first time working on the production team with them. And it's been a really great time. We're really fortunate to have a very talented cast, including these 2 ladies here. And I think what's really cool about this production in particular is that The Wizard of Oz is one of those stories that's kind of multi-generational, and so many people know it. It's a household favorite for a lot of people, and I think that's really well represented in our cast as well. We have age ranges from 5 to 65. We have a really cool, diverse group of people bringing to life this story that I think everyone connects with in one way or another.
Absolutely. That's the thing about The Wizard of Oz, is because it's such a timeless classic, it never really goes out of style as well, too. Everyone can enjoy it, no matter where you're from as well, too. So that's fantastic. Tell us a little bit about the rehearsal process, what that's been like, and how has the cast come together to bring this classic story to life? How has those relationships helped you out in character development and even in personal life, too?
Yeah, well, especially in the beginning of our rehearsal process, we focused a lot on ensemble building. So to us, that means, connecting with each other as a cast, as a whole, learning how to work as a team, and build our characters from the ground up when it comes to everything from movement to sound, so that when we actually dive into the text, into the script, we have that extra layers and nuance to our characters and also that connection with one another.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. I think it's great too. And I mean, when I did theater in high school, I remember like building on so many different relationships with people, making new friends was always fantastic as well too. Now, how do you balance, of course, when it comes to the theater life to also like home life and maybe even work life? How does that how do you kind of balance that?
Well, personally, I'd say that my balance, I don't really, I mean, I have a job, but it's not a consistent job. But balancing just like cutting out the time to like memorize your lines and work on the dances and practice makes perfect. So just cutting out that time specifically and being intentional about when you're going to rehearse has been really important. And I think everyone in our cast has really prioritized our show and rehearsing for it. So I think that's the key to making a show really stable and great.
Absolutely. Now, of course, as we know, The Wizard of Oz has lots of color in the film and in the, in the story as well, too. So with that being said, I'm sure like the costumes have been so exciting to be a part of, and the makeup and all of that as well too. So I know that usually like we think of The Wizard of Oz, the start of the film, it's sepia tone. Is that kind of what we can expect as well too in this performance?
I think you can definitely expect a lot of color coming to life in Oz rather than in Kansas. I think Kansas looks like, middle America. It's not, it's especially in the time period that we're presenting it in. It's beautiful in its own way, but obviously coming through into Oz and having all of those colors burst to life on stage. We've had a lot of fun with color blocking in this performance. So really leaning into what the different parts of Oz look like in terms of what colors are most prominent there, and how that relates to the costuming and what all the cast is wearing in any given area, whether it's Munchkinland or the Emerald City. So I think people are going to be really excited to come in and see, oh, okay, there's Kansas, and it's pretty and it's nice. But then when Oz opens up, it really kind of goes to the next level.
Absolutely. That's something I love about The Wizard of Oz too, are the colors in terms of the setting that you're in. So of course you've got the brighter, more fun colors that are representing a little bit more of the upbeat, happy side. And then maybe you have the little bit more creepy, darker side of like the Wicked Witch, and maybe even that kind of gloomy kind of Kansas where it's a little bit more dull. So that all kind of ties in together with the story and the characters and how the character development goes and how the story goes along too. Literally going down the yellow brick road as
Absolutely.
well. Now tell us a little bit too. I know we've got our beloved character Toto. You actually have a real dog in this performance.
We do, yeah. In Kansas, Toto is being played by the professional actor Dashiell, and he is fantastic. Sammy can speak to the experience working with him.
Yes, he's just been a joy to work with. Honestly, it hasn't been very hard to work with him because he's very motivated by treats and food. So as long as we have that, he's a rock star.
Yeah.
I love it. That's fantastic. Very good. What kind of dog is he?
He's a Shih Tzu. He's a blonde Shih Tzu. He's very, very cute.
Oh, I love it. That's so cool. That's awesome. Now, what has it been like performing at the Hemmens Cultural Center and being part of the Elgin Summer Theater tradition as well?
Yeah, it's been a pleasure getting to work with the wonderful folks that are staff at the Hemmens. They're working as crew members and production members of The Wizard of Oz with us. And I just want to give them a huge shout out because they are some of the most patient, kind, and caring people working on this production. And it's been such a pleasure getting to experience this facility and work with the wonderful folks that are employed there.
Absolutely. I think that's great too. And then of course we've got the music side of things. How's it been with training on vocals and things like that? Sometimes I remember, with remembering doing theater too, there were times when I was like, I had to rest my voice. So what are some things that you do to kind of like, I would even say just in general, kind of kick back, relax a little bit when you're not performing? What are some things that kind of help you to kind of, rejuvenate your energy a little bit?
Personally, I've had a crazy vocal journey on my own for this show, because I traditionally sang alto, which is the lower kind of singing voice in your chest, and but eventually I had to learn how to sing higher for this show, because Dorothy has some high notes within the soundtrack. So exploring my vocal range has been really exciting. I've got some training throughout the process, and learning how to open my mouth more, and my soft palate, and there's all these different techniques that are really helpful. And then just being on vocal rest as much as you can when you're not within the space has really been helpful. So yeah, it's been really exciting.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit here too. I'm curious. So in this production of The Wizard of Oz, is there anything that's a little bit different from the traditional Wizard of Oz that has been implemented into the story or into the set design or costumes?
Yeah, that was a very intentional decision that we made in the production planning process, was how to balance enough of what is iconic and what's familiar about the Wizard of Oz, while also introducing some things that are kind of different or new, or even nods to the original books. So there's definitely some moments that, your hardcore Wizard of Oz fans, those that have read the 14 plus books or however many there are, that they might pick up that other people would, not notice, which I think is really kind of fun. Our director, his name's Jason Harrington. He's amazing. And this story in particular has really resonated with him throughout his life, and he's shared some of that with us. And so he found a way to have these little nods, and put some originality in places that maybe the audience won't be expecting. And I don't want to share too much, because we want people to come in and see it for themselves and enjoy. But know that coming in, we kind of keep saying it's a twist on the classic. All the classic moments that you love and are looking forward to are there. But there's definitely some extra stuff in there that's going to keep it kind of new and exciting.
Awesome. Now, is there any particular dancing in this performance, or is it kind of stuck to a little bit more on the classical side?
Yeah, there's some dance numbers, definitely. There's some numbers in the show that are not in the original movie that are in the Broadway version of the show, which is the one that we're obviously putting on. So there's a number called the Jitterbug, which was actually, it was
I'm aware of that.
removed from the original movie for time, but was written for the original movie. And that's a particularly dancey moment for everybody. And it's really fun to watch on stage.
Oh, I'm excited to see that now. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, because I was growing up, I was a big Wizard of Oz and Judy Garland fan. So I'd seen the VHS special features, and they have the video of the Jitterbug, but it was not filmed in that great of quality. I don't know if you've seen it before, but so I'm like, oh, that's really cool that you've incorporated that into the story. That's fantastic. Very nice. Now, for those who haven't gotten their tickets yet, what could you say to encourage them to see The Wizard of Oz? Where can people find more information?
Yeah, so you can find our box office on the Hemmens website. There are posters all around town with QR codes. So if you're in the Elgin area and you see one hanging up, grab that QR code and buy your tickets. But everything can be purchased through the Hemmens Cultural Center website. We are opening this Friday, and we're so excited to get the show on the road and see everybody there. The Yellow Brick Road, to be exact.
Absolutely. So, folks, if you want to check out more information, I do have it up on the screen right now here, too. You can find it at the Hemmens Cultural Center there. You can choose that date. It is coming up already this weekend, Friday and Saturday, as well as Sunday. Sunday is that matinee show at 3 p.m., and the other days are 7:30. And then we also have July 18th and 19th at 7:30, and then 3 p.m. July 20th. So lots of great performances there. You can check it out, Hemmens Cultural Center, and more. You can also find it at elginil.gov. They've got their beautiful poster there as well, too. I'm excited to know about how you do the tornado, because that's always interesting to see the performances of how the tornado's done. Is it, I think a lot of times it's projection, but I mean, with that being said, too, I mean, even look at the film and, how they created the tornado. I mean, it's just So fantastic to see all the behind the scenes side of things too when it comes to theater. Well, I want to thank all of you for joining us here today, and folks, go on out and support, of course, the UAC Theater. Now, what does UAC stand for?
Up and Coming Theater.
Up and Coming Theater. Very cool. Now, you're stationed in Elgin.
We are a partnership with the Hemmens Cultural Center, so we are in the Elgin area, but we have board members and participants all around the northwestern suburbs, so yeah.
Very good. Awesome, awesome. Now, of course, I do have to ask, I know as you are Dorothy, you're going to be singing. Do you want to give us a little sneak peek if you'd like?
Sure.
Maybe like 20 seconds or so. I don't have any music to play, but do you want to give us a little sneak peek?
If you insist. Okay. Somewhere over the rainbow way, up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby.
Oh, fantastic. You've got that beautiful old time voice too. I can hear it in your voice. You've got the smile. I see it in your eyes that you love what you do. That's fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
You're very welcome. Thank you all for joining us here today, folks. Check out more information. It's coming up July 11th. Already starting there. That is the production of The Wizard of Oz. You don't want to miss out on this classical tale with a twist. Very nice. Thank you again, Elle, for joining us here today on Out to Lunch.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
You're very
you.